I forgot to do the whole. I forgot to do our whole intro thing. It's
No, go.
uh,
Put the intro. Put the intro. I worked on that. See?
hello
Started
and
with the
welcome to
intro.
Wheel of Time in Review. And I am Ninja Bill of Ninja Bill Reviews, and I'm joined by my co-host and best bud, all around great guy, Razyel Kayne. Introduce yourself. Tell people where they can find you.
You can find me on YouTube at Razyel Kayne Reviews, and you can find me on Facebook on both my profile Razyel Kayne and my page Razyel Kayne Review, which has not many followers. I'm also on Instagram, also at Razyel Kayne Reviews, and on tformers.com. And now I do also a little collaboration with TF Reviewer on this channel H&E Games, where we're trying to start a news segment similar to. Well, the idea is that Bacon from T-Formers and Anthony want to do something like IGN, where they do weekly news. So, yeah, you've been part of that. You've
Yeah,
done.
yeah.
You've done
I've
the.
done one spot in that so far.
Yeah. Well, I do. You know what? Let's one that's already live. Hold on. Can I do that? I want your
Yeah,
opinion on
through
something.
share. I
So
think
hold on.
if you
Yeah, I just need to go in my
go
finished
ahead.
products,
By the way, I am
shorts.
Ninja Bill. While he does that, I'll introduce myself. I am Ninja Bill of Ninja Bill Reviews. You can find me on YouTube. You can find me on Facebook as Shinobi
Been
Birru.
going at it
On
for 2 years
Facebook, you can
about
also
voice
join my.
acting.
Oh,
But what I
sorry,
really
sorry,
want to know
sorry.
now,
Go ahead. I did
And I
not
was
know it
about
was
to
going to
say
start
is
like
you
that.
can. That's okay. That's
All right.
yeah. Mid sentence gop. I love it. Um, where was I? Oh yes. Also on Facebook, you can find my group, Shinobi Studios, Transformers, and more. I suggest you go check that out. Join that group. It's a great group of people there. You can also find me on tformers.com as Shinobi Birru. And now let's watch this awesome intro bid.
Hold on. I want the MCDJ just walked in. So, MCDJ, I want your
Nice.
opinion on this here. Okay. It's something I'm doing for a TF reviewer. So, let's go.
at it for 2 years about voice acting. But what I really want to know now is which version of this character do you think had the best voice?
Wrong! I've learned a great deal. I won't miss this time.
Or
Megatron ordered me to guard over the warp gates so the Minicons don't desert us?
once again from the top.
Let them try. I've waited for this moment a long time, Megatron.
Or
No one humiliates me like that! No one!
Go ahead, vote in the comments.
so, all right. So that was something that I did for TF reviewer, and yeah, basically, I just want to know, how do I stop sharing this thing? It's not letting me.
There should be a thing where it says stop sharing there. All
Well,
right.
I think you have that, because I have the present, but I don't have the stop sharing. Anyway, I removed it. No, MCDJ, I want to know, what do you think of the concept? Do you think it's interesting? But yeah, G1 Screamer, that to me, that's my choice too. But a lot of people might, prefer
I
the
like
Armada.
I liked both equally.
Exactly.
I did.
But so far, I have about, I don't know, 4 or 5 of those little videos ready.
Nice.
And
I have only done one. I really only had time to do that one.
yeah,
Man, I might submit a few others. I don't know. she's not keen on me sharing my Gundam shorts. So, I guess they're not going to happen, which is a shame because that's my first love. Anyway, so did you pick up anything interesting this week?
Yes, I picked up this.
Nice. What is it?
That's a geeky tiki. Yeah, geeky tiki. So basically,
Nice.
it's those totem cup or tiki cups thing that are super popular amongst people, and now geeks can enjoy a version of their character. So that's Bumblebee. There's an Optimus, and I think it's a Megatron. Like Patriot Prime has the others, and I just picked this one up because it was $22. Optimus is like $30, and I couldn't find the Megatron. So yeah.
Interesting. I didn't really pick up anything last. Well, yeah, I haven't picked up anything. I've been too busy to really shop. I take that back. I went shopping like last week, and I didn't find anything at all. It was just, yeah.
Well, I ordered two things that I received. Those chibi dolls.
Oh yeah, I saw you. I saw the notification for one review. Yeah, nice.
Yeah. So this one was yesterday, and
Chibi or super deformed, either one. SD. Yep.
yeah. So
I dig
RC.
it. It looks great.
Oh man, and this one has a couple QCs issued though. But check my review. And then I have. Hold on, it's not standing. I have this one here. So that's Chromia.
Yep.
I love those little things. Even my wife was like, "Oh man, that's really cute." So that's my new stuff.
Nice. Yeah, I didn't pick up anything. I didn't pick up anything, which is okay.
Did you check? Well, did you check out that's a good point. The Hasbro warehouse sales. Did you check that out?
I had no idea what was going on.
Okay.
So,
Anthony I have to close my Facebook because Anthony's sending me messages right now. Okay.
But my brother did happen to find something interesting, and then I grabbed a couple of bins full of older Transformer toys, and I was like, "Yeah, go ahead and grab them." So somebody that had, their son has since moved away, and I was like, "Yeah, grab them." They looked like a bunch of Energon, Unicron trilogy toys, and I was like, "Yeah, pick those up." Get that.
That's cool. Hey, if you ever find a Armada Demolisher, I would like to. My son used to have it, and I can't find a decent one. So
I'll keep that in mind. So we are here to talk about the book 13, Wheel of Time. Boy, oh boy.
Yeah.
Let's start over again.
Hold on, I have to show you. Every time I show you like the book, this is the book. Hey, hold on, my ring light is off. Man, I am so unprofessional. Sorry, everybody.
Yeah. Sorry. Normally, we're a little bit more professional.
Yeah, exactly. We're better. And then, look, this is my only non-trade paperback. I found it, like, my friend used to lend me the books, and then I stopped being friends. And I found this book at, like, some random store. So I picked it up.
I have that exact same book.
But now I think I'm going to get rid of it and order the trade paperback because when I want to read, it's, simple.
I found a Wheel of Time a book box set of the smaller trade paperbacks. Where was it? Was it Barnes and Noble, I think? So I'm ordering those. And so volume 1 and volume 2, I'm ordering those.
Yeah, I like it because these came in packs of 3. Like little boxes. So, and I like the original covers. I don't like the new one.
Oh yeah. So I got those coming.
Saying that he found a lot of shattered glass items that he couldn't find. 8 Transformers. That's cool. I went through it and nothing I want in there. So,
nice.
And then, what I like about this cover is this is our first look at Jane Farstrider's cousin,
Noel. Yeah.
Noel. Yep. And then you have the Escher and the Ray.
You got Matt. You got
Matt
Tom.
Spear, Matt. But the spear, that's like one of our few good look at it.
Oh yeah.
And Tom's patchwork cloak. I never pictured it like that.
Yeah,
That's-
I always pictured it a little bit
Me
differently,
too,
but
but
you know,
this was
yeah.
really interesting. And then he has the dagger. Hold on, doing the reverse thing. He has the
Opening the
dagger
door.
that's he's gonna need to use the Tower of Midnight with. So that's a very fair representation of the scene.
Oh yeah.
So that's what I love about those. It's like they're very, very accurate.
Oh yeah. I love the cover book art on this series.
But so
They're all
this is
for
the
their.
second book by Sanderson.
Mm-hmm.
And there's there's still the lexicon at the end. You know, what's the golden crane? Oh, see, Jane Farstrider or Jane Shirane.
Mm-hmm.
I always like to go through that at the during reading and after that, you know,
Oh yeah. It's good
giving
information to
a
have.
little
Good information to have.
especially that
Yeah.
there's so
So
much.
we are on book 13, Towers of Midnight, and this has a lot of action in the series.
It does.
Like for example, like towards the start of the book, Fane, if you all remember who Fane is, he corrupts an army of Trollocs. He like eats it's hard to how does the it seems like he kind of like melts and boils them at the same time, and then they sort of, like reemerge from the black mist, and now under his control.
Yeah, because now he
know,
controls the mist, basically.
Yep. And
He's strong. Fane is one of the strongest non-forsaken character in this book, in this series.
oh yeah, he's not even afraid of the Dark One, because he is
No.
such an evil that even the Dark One considers him a threat. All right, and wants to get rid of him. He's actually sent, dreadlords to actually, kill him, but they've all failed. They've all failed, so even the Dark One considers Fane a threat. That's how much of an evil he is. He's a force that even the Dark One can't contain, and it's the Dark One's own fault that he's like that. He's got out
Is
of
it? Oh yeah, I guess it is, because he tortured him, and then they captured him, and then converted him to a dark friend, sent him to the Two River to spy on the kids, and then
of
he
course,
went to force him to go
Shadar
to Shadar Lagat, and then this happened.
Yep. So it's sort of what the Dark One's own doing that he's like that, and he's an interesting character. Yeah, not my favorite, but definitely an interesting character.
Oh, he's one of my top villain.
Oh, really? Yeah. I did lots of shattered glass and items that I couldn't find. I think I scored like 8 overall. Okay, yeah, you already did. All right, but
yeah, we don't get more new comments after that. Once we start talking about the books, that's pretty much where the comments stop. But I did share the playlist, and because I've been saving a playlist of every live we've done, and I shared that playlist on that new Facebook group. So I'm hoping that some people will take a look.
Nice,
and
I hope they do too.
I want to. There's something that I want to. There was another group that I wanted to join, but they were asking like very specific question about the books, and I was like, okay, I don't have time to research that. But one of their group rule was that they don't allow discussion about the first time that Tylin slept with Matt, which a lot of people consider being a rape.
Yeah, well,
yeah, because she held a gun, sword to his throat, and she made him strip and everything. So, and I thought I never saw it that way because of the character of Matt.
Yeah,
But when you think about it, a lot of people could get upset by that.
She did force herself on him through her power and her intimidation and her what she thought was playfulness. Matt definitely didn't see it as playfulness. So, but yeah,
apparently it's been confirmed by Jordan himself that this was a rape. I'm like, all right, cool. But I just thought it was. I understand why that would be a group rule. I don't know if all the Facebook group have that policy about that, but it could be upsetting and traumatizing for a few people.
Oh yeah.
So.
Oh yeah, but that happened in many books ago. So here we are, and once again, book 13. Aleda, who was captured at the White Tower, is now is with the Sanchan, and they have Aleda demonstrate traveling to him. So now the Sanchan, the one people who nobody wanted to learn traveling, has traveling.
Yeah. Do the AL know traveling by now?
Yes.
You know
Yeah. They've known. They've known.
Like not the good AL, but the Shadow and
the Shido. No, they do not. They do not.
I wasn't sure.
Yeah, everyone's was really careful, even though parents already wiped them out. But or was it in this book he wipes them out? No, he's already wiped them out. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah, they've been wiped out. Well, I mean, there's leftover Shadow, but most of them have been captured by Sanchan, and you have a couple stragglers that are going back to the waste to live their toe.
No, they've taken great pains to make sure that the Shido wise ones never learned of traveling. Yeah. They know it exists, but they don't know the weave for it. They made darn sure that only men use traveling wherever the Shido could be found, and because the wise ones can't see males using their true power or whatever. Yep. So see the weaves for that, they couldn't copy it. Which was really smart on parents' part, to make darn sure that they couldn't. And the Sanchan couldn't read it either, So he was, he used.
That's right. Sanchan don't have any because they don't gentle men; they kill them.
Yeah. So none of their women could see what they were channeling to make the gates. So that was really cool. But so here we are. Avienda is back in the waste. She's going to be going back to Ruidian, and she meets a strange ale. Now some people, ale.
I have the description. That strange ale is Nakomi.
Yeah.
And she blah blah. She dresses normal, but she just the reason refused around blah. But when she returns, Nakomi has been attacked. They don't say who she is. She's just that's all she is.
It's sort of alluded to that she is Nakomi, and Nakomi is apparently pretty powerful or important or
okay.
So basically one of like the first IL. So anyway, so they meet and they talk about Avienda's toe, and she travels through the glass columns once again and to see her future, and so she can decide what Rand needs to do for the ale.
Well, they don't. That resume doesn't really say much. Yeah, because basically she activates because she's able to feel and discover what Terrangrels do. That's one of her ability, and then she activates them rather than just doing the passive action of going through them, the glass column, like they do on their first test of where it shows you their past and what we've seen with Rand in the book 4 when he goes through the columns and you see the past. And
go ahead.
Okay, and then she activates it, and now they show her her descendants instead of her ancestors, and it's really freaking sad because it goes really far in the future where the AL are
absolutely
reduced animals basically, and they're just a pest and a bunch of street people. They can barely communicate. They just try to survive, and then it goes to show how it happened. It's basically that the AL went to war with the Sanchan after the dragon crisis. Let's
Yeah,
call it that.
once the dragon had his piece, the ale
The
went
dragon, exactly.
Yeah.
And then they went after the Ascension, and they lost.
big time lost.
Yeah,
Big
and then
time
after that, they were run. So when Avienda is going to talk about that to one of the other wise women, they're gonna. She says, "Well, if you want to change the future, just
Change
if
one of the
you
names.
happen to know the name of one of your children, change it."
Yep. So,
So
I've always found something interesting. So the Terran Grawl, that she goes through at Ruidian sounds an awful lot like the Terran Grawl they have at the White Tower. That was my phone. I've always wondered if they're one in the same.
could
Doesn't
be because
seem
they're arch in the White Tower. You go through three
Yep.
arch,
right.
and the three arch are tests.
Mhm.
But it's probably the same type of intent
Mhm.
to show you. I mean, I think the glass columns are more powerful because you're actually seeing something, and
From your
you
past
cannot
and
change
in the
anything.
future.
You're
Yeah.
just, you can't change anything. You're just living somebody else's experience.
But I've often wondered, just how closely those if those two, Terran Grawl could interact with each other in some way or something, because they sound very similar to one another. These tall,
Exactly.
arched, Terran Grawl, glass Terran Grawl, and they both walk through like
Because
like
those
Nettie.
arch, I think, was it? Yeah, it's not alternate universe. It's a construct.
Yeah.
It's a holodeck, basically.
Yeah, I hadn't thought about it that way, but yeah.
It's a
Yeah,
holodeck.
I love how Nana Eve handles
Because I
it.
think those arch, you need Aes Sedai to operate them as
Mhm.
you do the test, so that something is dictated to the in the construct.
Mhm.
So anyway,
Well, as a matter of fact, I think you're right, because after Nenaeve's trial, one of the Aes Sedai turned to the others and said, "What the hell was that? I have been through many trials and never seen a woman treated as what just happened here."
that's right.
One of
Which
them was,
shows that it's fair. Some Aes Sedai are bitches and people don't trust them, but some of them are actually fair and like, why are we treating this girl differently?
yeah.
So.
And they absolutely harrow her. And I know I don't think it's this book. I think it was the previous one where she. Yeah, it was. And because then she sent Lan, away, and that was one of the best. Or was it this book? I forget. Maybe it was the last book, but one of my favorite moments was where she sends Lan away, and then she goes visit. Are you still there?
Yeah, I'm still
Am I
there.
still
Sorry,
here?
I just realized something really
Hello?
weird. Yeah, hello.
Hello. I think I've. Chat, can you still hear me? Anybody in chat?
Yeah. Well, nobody's in chat. I can hear you. Hold on.
I think I've lost Razyel Kayne.
No, I'm right here, man.
Oh, okay. Oh, nope. There you are.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
You can hear me? Okay.
Yeah, you literally froze up, and I was like,
No, I was just reading something, and then you said, "Can you hear me?" And I said yes, and you couldn't hear me. Okay, hold on. I just found out something real weird. Okay, about the next bit. Rand goes to Dragon Mount, right?
Mhm.
And he talks to Almond Bunt. I'm like, who the hell is Almond Bunt? That sounds like a random name. And then I click on it, and in the timeline, this guy's been like in every book. But he's standing near the Goose and Crown with his cart checking the harness of his horse, while the innkeeper talks to Fate about two boys that he wants delivered. He wants delivered to him. And then he does something else. And another, Blunt plans to travel to Camelin to see Logain. And then he's like in every book, but he does just like one little thing. He's the first person Rand speaks to when returns to Dragon Mount. He's one of the group Matt gives a basic lesson in using a spear during the last battle. Like it's like some random NPC that just happens to be at the right place at the right time.
Love it.
That's
I love it.
freaking hilarious.
I love it. Yes. Yeah, see, and that's what Robert Jordan did, man. That was, that's what he did. He gave us a whole world to live and experience and
Yeah.
enjoy, and it's things like that. It's things like that is why I consider it one of the best authors.
My friend had an NPC like that, a nail merchant. So everywhere we went, he would just, if we needed something, he'd be like,
Oh, for D&D?
we'd find him there. It's the nail merchant. It's like the stupidest thing ever.
Oh, for D&D?
Oh, yeah.
Nice. Yeah, we were talking about anyway. Moving on. So,
all right. So as he talks, apple trees that were shriveled, rebloom and give genuine crop, and that's when you see that Rand is affecting the pattern very positively if he wants to.
Mm-hmm. And then he goes to Tarvalin, which pretty much just scares the pants off of every single person there.
He talks to Egwene, and he's like, "I'm going to break this seal."
Yeah. She's sitting in her office, and somebody, the keeper breaks in, and the dragon is at the front gate. And everybody's crowding around, and and it's the first time we really. Egwene is not one of my favorite characters because
neither.
She's
good. Cool. She's strong, but
she's good. She's strong, but when it comes to Rand, she misreads him all the time, every time.
But that's because she knew him. Yeah. And now it's like when you don't see someone for 20 years. You think you still know that person, but he's not the same person,
Yeah.
So,
yeah. Well, even then, even like in the beginning of the book, she constantly just even when he does his absolute best to help her and save her, she still doesn't recognize it. She still thinks he's, being, anything else but, a savior to her, and it's been one continuous thing after another between those two, which especially her, given her, and it's somewhat it's that naivety on his part, and that she thinks she knows him so well on her part that just I always dislike that part about Egwene. That's why she's not one of my favorite characters. Whereas people like Nynaeve, which is one of my favorite characters, she gets to experience every side of Rand from his birth onwards. She's been with him, from beginning to end, literally to his end. She was there at his beginning. Nynaeve is one of those special characters. She was there at his birth, and she was also there at his death. I mean, she's from beginning to end.
Well, at his birth, she would have been like 10.
Yeah, but it states, she even says, I helped raise you,
Yeah, in a sense, she did.
Yeah. So,
right. So Rand goes to the tower, tells Egwene, I'm gonna break the seal. She's like, no, tries to organize a resistance. He just tells her, meet me at the field of Merilord, which is where the final battle will happen. Or that's where they gather. Perrin encounters White Cloaks under the command of Galad. Oh, that's where it happened. And then Bornhall and Briar tell Galad that Perrin killed children, children of the light.
Yep.
Including Bornhall. And then so in order to avoid a battle, Paris agreed to a trial with Morghese as the judge, who Galad has identified. And that happened very weirdly.
Yeah,
because she was in the crowd, and then Galad's like, "You have my mom. That's my mom."
Yeah, they're in a tent meeting, sort of like a peace talk, and here comes his mom serving tea on a tray, and he's like, "Mother."
Yeah, exactly.
Do you not know who this is? This is your queen.
I forgot that she pronounced Perrin guilty, declares it a fight between mercenary company, and says Galad should set the punishment. Oh, okay.
Yep.
And then I think the punishment is set for after the battle.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, and then Perrin encounters Slayer in the dream world and finds a Terran girl that can prevent the opening of gateways.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, now Slayer, I have to confess, Slayer is one of the character I do not understand. So I'm
Yeah,
going to click on the link.
So Slayer is okay. So during the Battle of Two Rivers, he was there as Lord Luck, whatever he was. All
It's
right,
Luke.
Luke. So I've heard both pronunciations, but so Lord Luke was there, right? And Rand suspected him. Even then, he didn't like him. You know, he just smelled wrong. And that's what the way Perrin described him to. You know, he smells wrong, because he's both human and not human.
Well, he's the merging of Luke Mantir and Isram Mandragoran, which I'm guessing Isram Mandragoran is, he's a Malkari noble.
Yeah.
And he's the son of Lane and Brienne Mandragoran, even though he was only Lan's cousin. Okay, you resemble him enough to be mistaken for his brother. Blah, blah, blah. So that's... And Luke Mantir was... an Andorran royal and Queen Mordrelin's son, Tigrane's brother. Oh, Tigrane, that's Rand's uncle.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay, so he's family in a sense.
Yeah.
And blah blah blah. I'm just trying to.
So Slayer.
But how did he? Okay, there's a whole article on Slayer.
Yeah.
How
So
did he?
Slayer.
We don't know how he got merged. Like it's not in the book. He just happens to be there.
Yeah, and you know, and he's sort of the Dark One's hound. You know, the Forsaken use him, you know, to assassinate people and whatnot, and he has one of the best descriptions of that the city or the town, as they call it, the town. That's simply, there's no real name for it. They just call it the town. That's, you know, in front of Shadow, in front of, I forget the mountain, where the final battle is held. I can't believe I just forgotten the name. Anyway, there's a town there, and he gives one of the best descriptions about the, you know, the blood forges, you know, where they, you know, take captives and use their blood to make the weapons, you know, and you know, there's even you know, it's the literally survival of the fittest there, you know, or and they also the red veils, the male channeling Aiel, who went, you know.
Ah, man, that's a spoiler. We haven't seen those yet.
Oh, I'm sorry. Well, he describes them in this book. They were in the town. No,
the first time we see them is in the last book.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm sorry, folks.
Yeah, I mean, you know, I'm guessing people who are gonna, you know, come and watch this probably already know about that.
Yeah.
So, all right.
So you know, it's an interesting place, and you know, and we only get one other description, which is in the next book, you know, of the town, seen from the point of Avienda. So you know, it's cool. It's cool. Anyway, so Perrin and Slayer have Slayer's chasing Perrin, who stole the Terran Grawl, and they make it to Tar Valon, where at the same time, Egwene is trying to fight the Forsaken Mizana, I think.
Yeah, it's Mizana.
Yep. And so her and the Black Aja are busy fighting each other in the dream world, right? So here they're fighting it out, and along they a bunch of the
Black Aja
are killed or captured, right? And along comes Perrin and Hopper. Hopper is the wolf, by the way, the dead wolf. Yep. We've seen him in many other books so far. And they end up, you know, helping Egwene. And at one point, you know,
well, one good point here is that Egwene tries to hold Perrin with rope and chains.
Yeah.
But he just shrugs them off because they're in the dream world. Yep. And she's like, "How did you do that?" And he's like, "It's just a weave, Egwene." And then he moves on. Slayer has escaped, and then Perrin destroys the Terran Grail.
Yep. But before he moves on, he does one of the best things. So when he's talking to Egwene, a Black Aja comes out from around the corner and fires balefire at Perrin. And Egwene screams at him, Perrin, right? And he just raises his hand and blocks it. And she just stood there gawping, like,
Yep.
how'd you do that? And he looks at her and shrugs and just said, it's just a weave, Egwene. And
Yep.
then then moves on. And she's just stupefied, absolutely stupefied. He's like, because she thinks that Balefire can kill in both reality and in the dream world, and he's just proven that absolutely untrue. He, with a shrug of his shoulder, he's just proven that Balefire isn't unbeatable.
Exactly. It's not unbeatable. So then Perrin, destroys the Terran Grail, and then you realize that it's a trap, and he arranged for his men to fight Shadow Spawn, who arrived through a portal stone. So portal stones are still a thing. Like, we've seen them in book 2.
Yeah.
And then Rand used it again in book 4, but we haven't seen much of them since then.
Yep.
So now the portal stone, which is the way to go through alternate dimensions, basically.
Mm-hmm.
So then
the portal stones remind me an awful lot of. Have you ever played the game the Dragon Age games?
I did play Dragon Age.
Well, there's a thing there called the Illuvians, right? And they're mirrors, and they take you sort of to this alternate dimension, and they could, inside this, it could be very much just like these portal stone alternate dimension acts.
I don't remember. Is that
very
in the
much
first
like
game?
that? Yeah, the Illuvians are there. Yeah, there's because
must have been an expansion because I don't remember that.
Morgan uses one in the DLC.
Okay, yeah, I didn't get the DLC. That's why.
Yeah, for Dragon Age Origins DLC, Morgan uses one, and they've appeared in the second one, and they've appeared in the third one extensively. So, yeah. So they remind me very much of how Illuvians work. I mean, it's so similar. It's crazy. So they might have been inspired by Robert Jordan's, portal stones easily, because they work very similarly. So anyway.
All right. Well, okay. So a bunch of Shadow and Spawn arrive through Portal Stone with a lone male passing them through. He is able to save the White Cloaks. Bornhall accepts that he's no Dark Friend, so that's a plus. But Briar does not and tries to kill him because Briar's an idiot.
Mm-hmm.
But he's killed by Dane. And then Perrin persuades Galad to give him his allegiance until the last battle is over. Galad tells Perrin that his punishment will be to pay reparations. So, it's not death penalty, so that's cool.
Yeah, there you go.
So in the tower, the Blood Knives murder Aes Sedai, but Egwene believes it to be Mizana. She arranged a meeting with Windfinders and Wise One. Oh, yeah, and then she tried to suggest an alliance and a new bargain with the Windfinders to replace the one that Elaine made. And basically, they want the Wise One, Windfinders, and Aes Sedai to exchange students. So to have, you're an Aes Sedai, you want to be an Aes Sedai, cool. But part of your training is you go 1 year with the Wise One and then 1 year with the Windfinders, so that they have a more
it's sort of
homogeneous relationship.
It's like a student exchange that where
which is smart.
Yeah, I dig it. I dig it a lot, because really that's what it is, a student exchange, So, and I dig that idea, and it's a great idea. And the other Aes Sedai that was sitting around, eyeballing the Windfinders and the Wise Ones were making them prickly because the Wise Ones were just insulting them. They're like, yeah, but these women over here don't know really what's going on. The Aes Sedai were like, ugh.
Well, yeah, no, but it's true. I mean, Wise Ones are way more hard on their students than the tower ever was. Yeah. So anyway, they're going to think on that. Mizana and members of the Black Edge attack, and they are forced to battle. Again, several Black Edge are killed. Mizana captures Egwene with an Adam. I don't remember that part. Egwene refused to accept it, and it falls away.
Yep. So they're in the Tel Riyadh, right, when that happens. But
okay.
and Egwene doesn't accept it as real. So, it doesn't work. And she turns it on Masana, which turns Masana,
Well, she crushes Misana's mind. So
yep.
that's one less Forsaken to.
Yep, and then the next chapters go into my favorite character, which is Matt, and the Golem, and this is the part I'm not going to talk about.
Oh yeah, we talked about it a little bit. I love.
Yeah, this is, and I promised you, in the last show that I'd let you cover this. So go ahead.
Yeah, so basically, he knows the Golem's tracking him, so he sends a letter to Elaine, and wants a meeting, and of course the letter is full of filthy words and insults and. So he persuaded her to make the dragons that the previous person working on the fireworks,
Aludra.
And then she insisted that Andor will own most of them. Agrees that the band will work for Andor until Rand needs them, but that they can refuse any commissions. Basically, we work for you until we don't want to. He tells her about the Golem. He offers his Terran Grill to study as an encouragement and gets a deal out of her. She's able to make imperfect copies that deflect weak weaves. So that's not bad. But not strong ones that allow the holder to channel. Okay, that do not allow the... So she's able to channel with that. So that's kind of neat. She decides to tie the kin to her and arrange for them to be permanently based in Camlin, which makes sense. Hoping that Egwene will agree. And then while Matt and Bridget are out, she visits the Black Ajah disguised as one of the Forsaken to trick Chesmol into revealing secret information. And blah, 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 blah. Sorry, I'm just skipping to the... Okay, after meeting Elaine, Matt arranged to kill the Golem. So basically, he baits it into attacking him. And then he wounds it with the Terran Grill and copies Elaine made. And then he's forced back, and he's able to force it back through a skimming gateways. So basically, those skimming gateways were what Rand did to get from Carrion to Camlin the first time.
And Egwene used to get from the Ale Waste to the new tower there in I forget where it was. The second. The second group of Aes Sedai, who elected her to be the, So she used traveling.
I thought she went through Teleran Yod for that.
No, she used traveling. She used traveling. Yep, because she had her horse with her, and they traveled.
Yeah, but I thought she had imagined the horse in the dream world, rode it, and then left it there.
No. Nope. She traveled. She definitely traveled.
Well, she skimmed. Okay.
Yeah, she skimmed. Traveling.
But because I thought the skimming gateways were like platforms.
Yeah, that's what she used. Yeah.
Okay. So anyway, and then Sumeko has opened a gateway, and then they push the Golem into that and basically close it. So now he's gonna fall forever. Which to me, that's brilliant way. I'm sure the Dark One can still probably go pluck him out.
And I loved how Matt thought ahead. He wrapped that medallion, so it's clung tight to the to the side, of his Ashandari, and so every time he struck, it would actually strike the Golem, and that's what forced. And they literally set a warehouse on fire to lure this Golem into that one spot, and Sumiko was hiding behind a doorway, and opened it, and Rand actually spit on him as he fell. He spit on the Golem, and I hope he falls forever.
That's Matt.
That's great. I love Matt. He's such a great character. He's probably the most down to earth character, well-rounded, down to earth character. That's why I love him so much, because he really is, despite all the glory he's gotten, he really just is this, look, I'm just a dicer,
Oh, that's the thing. I'm just a gambler, just a dicer.
Yeah. I'm just a gambler. I'm nothing special about me, and he irritates him when, people call him Lord Matt, he's like, I wish you would stop that. Well, you're married to an empress now. I don't care.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, come on, you have the title now. It's official.
He
All
says,
right.
I hate lords," and the one of his men reminds, "But you're a lord. You married Shanshan Empress. You're a lord now." And he's like,
He literally became what he hated.
"Yeah,
He did.
yeah,
Poor
yeah,
guy, man.
great." Anyway,
Poor
moving
guy.
on. So, oh, I forgot where we at. Oh, so
Naev heals Naef's madness. So Naef was one of the Malkiri or borderlanders, and because he's been he goes mad at one point, and she's able to actually cure his madness because he thought he was able to see Murdral, like that were hidden. He believed he had the talent that enabled him to see Murdral hiding in shadow. Until she, so he would, if there was shadow, he would flip out because he would see Murdral come out of it. And she heals him. So Naev is like the best cleric in any freaking D&D campaign I've ever met. She keeps healing stuff that people say you can't heal.
Can't be done. She
So
healed
she
killing.
scanned him, she delved him, and she saw the madness, like the black fingers in his brain, and she
lifted
plugged them
each
out.
one. Yep, it's well, her and Matt are literally my my favorite character is Nynaeve, however you want to pronounce it, and then and Matt followed right next to her. I mean, there's no greater or lower there. They're my two favorite, and she and it's great because it's also in this book. I thought it was last book, but this book. So she goes and does her testing, the testing we were just talking about to become full Aes Sedai, right?
Oh yeah, that's right.
And at one point, they're taking when she goes to take the test. What one Aes Sedai says, "Take that ring off, child. You're not Aes Sedai yet." And she balks at her, and he's like, "Excuse you? I'm already an Aes. I was raised by the Amerlin. If you don't like it, talk to the Amerlin." But
yeah, exactly. So she she takes Lan's bond because he's still,
oh yeah,
they're married, but he's still at. So she goes to the Black Tower. Rand sends Naef, who's just cured, but now he's going to send him to the Black Tower to find men loyal to him and tell him he was wrong about Taim.
Yeah.
I have to remember.
So a great moment there with Nynaeve is after her testing, and we were talking about it, where one of the women says, "What the hell was that?" So she goes to the tent of Meyer Lily, who holds Lan's bond, right? Meyer Lily is busy engaging in other activities with her wardens, right? And she wouldn't come out, and then Nynaeve just screams at her. She said, "Woman, do not test me." She says, "Tomorrow I take the vow. Tonight I am free of them. If you don't bring that and come out here and release that bond, what I'm going to do to you." I mean, she's just straight just goes off of that woman. She said, "Woman, get your ass out here and give me that bond or else."
Yeah.
Because I take the vows tomorrow, not tonight.
Yeah. Oh no, she did the right thing.
Oh yeah. So during this we meet Androl, who's also a really good character. He leads men loyal to Logain. They discover they are unable to open gateways. They note that Curran seems no longer himself. He seems empty, and Pavara, one of the Aes Sedai, she happens to be one of the sitters, I believe, in the White Tower of the Reds, right? Her bond and Andrel's bond are probably one of the most interesting here because they bonded each other at the same time, and the ability they get from it is so unique. It's fantastic because they can literally read each other's thoughts, and it's great. I'm spoiling a bit here, but they talk about it in this book as well, so I'm kind of spoiling it for the next
really
chapter.
A spoiler.
But at first, that it's just a feeling they can feel, like normal bond. They felt, and then they realized, no, that was deeper than that. I could actually sense what he was thinking, and he was like, I could actually sense what she's thinking, and they learn to communicate and talk to each other. Like where are you? I'm over here.
Yeah,
and they
exactly. It's going to be helpful in the next book.
yeah. And so they are trying to
Well, they notice that people around them are starting to change.
yeah.
Curran doesn't seem to be himself. Darna, is behaving oddly, and basically that's where you see that the Black Tower is being corrupted.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty much.
And so meanwhile, while all this is going on, Rodel each road, he is a general, one of the great generals, as they call them, is fighting a massive Trolloc force. So Rand made a deal with him in the last book, and he sends them to defend the Borderlands because the Borderlanders all left to go meet him. Remember, and they were camped outside Camlin for a while, and and so
Yeah, that's right.
that's right. So he sends Rodel Iturud and several forces up to the Borderlands to defend it from the Trollocs, and they're absolutely getting murdered up there. They're being overwhelmed. So the Murdral and the Trollocs and the Dark One's forces are just too much for them. They're just not winning. But suddenly, Rand sends another force led by another one of the great captains, as they're called it, is Bashir arrives and saves them. And Bashir happens to be Perrin's is Fail's, if I'm not mistaken, Fail's father.
Yeah.
Yep.
He is.
So, or uncle, I forget which.
No, but Devran Bashir is Perrin's father-in-law.
Oh, that's right. Yep.
And then basically Rand takes Rodel with him, and he tells him that he found Al Salam, who was a general that disappeared after the
king,
the civil war between Arad Doman and Tarabarn.
Yeah, King Asalam. Yep.
Yeah,
he's a king.
And
Rodel's king.
I think he's one of the great general too, right?
No.
So the great general are Rodel, Bashir, Garrett Barn.
Mm-hmm. Garrett Byrne and
Byrne, sure.
Yeah.
And who's the last one? Matt is like the greater general, so he's not in that group. There's another one, but anyway, we'll figure it out later.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Matt meets up with Perrin, and they tell each other their news. I'm married. Oh, me too.
Yeah, they're sitting in the bar and telling stories to each other, and hey, that was a great moment. The calm,
old friends seeing each other. Yep. It's like we said, old friends meeting each other, but then not knowing each other anymore because everything is so different. Perrin leaves, goes meet with Elaine, and arrange a treaty. Perrin is to be High Lord of the Two Rivers, which is to be given to the Dragon Reborn which is to be given to the. Hold on. Perrin is to be High Lord over the Two Rivers, which is to be given to the Dragon Reborn, and will not pay taxes. So
well,
which makes no sense. I have to say, business-wise, this makes no sense for Elaine to do this deal.
And Perrin pointed out to Elaine during their initial talks. Is Elaine talks about how the Two Rivers is part of Camlin, and he was like, "Look, we haven't seen a tax collector or a soldier or a guardsman in the Two Rivers in 200 years." So don't talk to me about how we were a part of a country we had no idea we were a part of in the beginning. Perrin and most of the Two Rivers have no idea they're even part.
That's right. They don't. They don't know.
It's been like he told her. It's been hundreds of years since a tax collector even came their way.
Yeah, exactly. So it makes sense.
Well, because as Elaine said, the Two Rivers tobacco is a very most popular tobacco in the world, but you can find it in several other cities where vendors are selling it because they go to the Two Rivers, they buy it there, and then it goes everywhere else. So Elaine was like, okay, well, you got a point.
Yeah, so that's it. You have your own province now.
Yeah, and
Well, that's cool.
she tries to apologize. She goes, "Well, I apologize for ignoring." He says, "Where was Camlin when the Two Rivers was attacked?" She goes, "Well, look, I apologize that we weren't there, but you're still our subjects." And he was like, "No, we're not. That's the
Yeah,
point. You didn't care. You didn't know
but
about it."
he gets a good deal, and
Yep.
then she wants him to encourage his children to marry into Andorran nobility. That's politics shit.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
Well, she's got to make sure that her rule
it,
is solidified. Her and her children's rule are solidified because she's got to protect her and Rand's children's birthright.
yeah, exactly. She strips three nobles of their titles and offer their estate to powerful Carrion lords, promising the Andorran's estate in Carrion. She enters Carrion to take the
Hmm.
throne, though Bridget has to prevent an assassination attempt. So that's like it never happened because Bridget is freaking awesome. And then we get to
Yep.
the best part
Bridget
of the
is.
book
Yes.
where Matt, Noel, and Tom go to the Tower of Genji. So there's two tower in the lands that are impenetrable. The Tower of
Kingdom.
Genji and the Tower of um while it's an entrance to both realms, the realms of the Elfin and the
The Aelfin and
Elfin
the
and the
Elfin. Yeah.
Elfin. Is there another tower?
I thought it was the only one, the Tower of Genji.
Yeah,
Uh,
there's one, and it's on the coast, right?
hmm
And basically, it's about 10-day north of Whitebridge. No opening, no ridge, no nothing. Bridget knew something about it. Just it's bad place for humankind. And even Noel said that he's never heard anything about what's inside.
Yeah, Bridget tells Matt a story from past lives of her being there. Like one of her lives where, she tried to rescue her lover. Her and her lover were trapped in there, and
Yes.
he tells, without saying it's Bridget, he just tells us a story of Bridget Silverbow, how Bridget Silverbow was trapped in there. Doesn't say it's the Bridget he now is hanging out with.
Yeah.
Doesn't tell him that, because it's not his secret to give out. And I love that about Matt. He's like, well, that's not my secret to tell, so I'm not going to tell it.
True enough.
That's a great friend right there. That's a great friend right there, in my opinion. But so he's telling them the story, and he said it's just like the game, and I forget the boy's name, but
Well, it's basically it's kind of it's called Snakes and Fox, and basically it's a kids game.
mm-hmm.
And the game is actually the key on how to win, because to win the game you have to cheat.
Yep.
That's one of the premise. That's like, and this build up has been going on for like 6 books now.
Mm-hmm.
Because Matt knows he has to go to the tower, and
so him, Tom, and Noel go to they're prepared. They have food and water and several items of iron and and whatnot. And another thing it is during when Matt last visited him, he made them give him 3 items, and one of those was a way to win. One of those things was that he asked him, he had to sacrifice the light of the world to win. And that's going to play a part here.
Well, actually, I think the part that play. Okay. He goes, they enter. So basically, he has, I don't remember where he gets the book. The dagger. That's one thing I don't remember. How they get the dagger that's going to open the door. I think it's because it needs to be a special steel or something, but I don't remember. But anyway, so they drew a triangle, and then a small hole happened, and they could see inside the tower. So then he's like, all right, well, let's make it bigger. So now he draws a bigger hole, and then they go in. Eventually, the door closed, and they navigate this. And Matt memorized how to navigate the game, because the game is actually each room. How you play the game, that's how you navigate this tower, and it holds both the Elfin and Elfin. But he makes a deal, and then they're captured. They find Moraine, and then he tells the Elfin that they want her, and that Matt is willing to pay the price, the loss of his eye, as
Right,
part
which
of
is
the
half the
bargain.
lot. That was remember the last time he met him, he one of the things he asked for was a way to win, and he'd have to sacrifice half the light of the world. And in this, while he's there, that's when he realizes what that means, and he sacrifices his eye,
Yeah,
half the light of the world, half of his sight, to save the world. Half the light of the world to save the world, and that's what they told him when he got the Ashendari, and they hung him.
exactly.
Remember that? They took because one of the
Yeah,
things
because
he
he had
asked
to
for,
die.
he had to die.
to die.
He
So
had to
basically,
die, and the only way to win was to sacrifice to give half the light of the world to save the world. And
so
this was where that came in.
yeah, and then he gives them the eye, and he makes the deal that the Elfin are going to leave him alone. He forgets that the
Elfin.
Elfin should have been part of that deal, and so they attack them. And then at this point, Noel admits to being Jane Fairstrider, which we kind of knew.
Mhm.
And then he stays back to fight them. He's defeated, and when the Elfin approach Matt, Tom and Moraine, Matt remembers that the last bargain he made is that he didn't ask for a weapon, he asked for a way out. He said, I need a way out of here. And the weapon is the way out of here. So he uses the Ashendari to slash the sides of the room, and they escape.
Yep.
And then that's when Moraine, tells them her strength and the power is greatly reduced, and that she will marry Tom. And Matt's like, what?
This came out of left field for me too.
Exactly. Well, no. Oh, no. I knew that Tom and Moraine loved each other. It came
out of left field. It came out of left field because they would nod at each other and whatnot through the book.
Why else would she write him a letter? He didn't trust Aes Sedai, but he stuck with her until she, disappeared. So that didn't surprise me. But Matt was like, "What? And I thought that was the most hilarious thing in this whole book. Sorry, man.
But yeah, so that shocked me, and she bonds.
The reason that her power is reduced is because they fed on her.
Yeah, they fed on the power. They feed on memories. They feed on feeling, emotions, and they feed on the power. So that's of course they eat people apparently, but because they're wearing human skins as their clothing. I mean that's pretty disgusting. Yeah, that's pretty disgusting. But so she bonds Tom, and the book ends with both the Dragon Reborn's armies and the Westland and the armies of
the Westland gathers at the field of Marilor. That's the thing. The armies of the Westland gather at the field of Marilor to oppose the Dragon Reborn.
Yeah.
But then, something else is going to happen. So.
Yep. So, and that is the end of book 13. And it's it's a very good book where a lot of things have just come together for the final battle, and as it should. And it's some of the best moments, like I love the fight with the golem. I love that fight with the golem. And so that's why I promised you to let you be the one to talk about it.
Thank you.
Yep. And the fight between Tom and Noel and Matt in the Tower of Genji is epic. It really is epic because they're going through room. They have to use music and iron and fire. And so they've prepared heavily. I mean, pots and pans. I mean, they brought in iron pots and pans. And Matt spared no expense. He bought that. Yeah. At one point, he's literally throwing pots and pans at the Elfin and the Elfin.
Oh yeah, no, these guys are strong.
Yeah, they're strong.
But the thing is that they're, what's funny is that that's something that's not explored further than this. That's the last thing we hear about them, because they are actually in a different dimension. Because when in the book 3 or 4, Yeah, the beginning of book 4, when Ran and Matt go inside
Mm-hmm.
the
Make it,
first staring grill, and
they look out a window and they see this world there, but
exactly,
the
there's
trees
a
are funny
window they
color.
see, and
There's
it
towers.
has nothing to do with what it could be, that it's not another world, that it's another continent,
Mm-hmm.
but nobody knows where these people are from, what they do, it's just, it's, deals are made, bargains are made.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
if you enter through the Terran Grail, you're safe.
Mm-hmm.
The red door frame, and you're safe. But now one of them has been destroyed because of land fear and moraine. So
Yeah, and they never did really say where the other one was, did they? Yeah, yeah.
what do you mean
So
the other one?
wasn't there a few of those doors they talked, that red frame door? Wasn't there a few of them? Maybe it was just one.
There was, we know of 2. One that, yeah, I think they do mention that it's something that's been lost over time.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
one was given as a gift. Oh wait, no, there is one in. Oh man, what's the Mayen?
Oh,
Mayen has one.
Maine. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
Mayen
Yeah.
has
Yeah.
one because that's a gift that they received years ago, and that's why Berlin, only the nobles or the royal family, well, the first of Mayen, is permitted to use that door, and that's how they gain some type of advantage over people.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Mm-hmm. So, um, I want to thank everybody who comes by and gives us a watch. I want to thank everybody who joined us in chat. I want to especially thank Raz for joining me on co-hosting the show. We both love this series, something we both are passionate about. And so once again, tell everybody, where they can find you and what you got coming up.
before I do that, I want to put in one request for next book. I want to cover the fate between land and that Forsaken that
Done.
that nobody's able to beat.
Done.
Okay. And
Yep.
you can cover Egwin doing that amazing thing she does.
Okay. Yeah. That sounds good. That sounds good. And by the way, since we're almost done with the series, you want to tell folks a little bit about the next book series we're going to cover?
Sure. Basically, we are going to do this on my channel, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
And it's going to be 4 books. And it's, man, who's the author? I can't remember right now. But anyway, it's the book series Hyperion. So basically, it's a sci-fi book that's been written starting in the 80s. By an author who didn't really know anything about the internet because it wasn't a thing back then. Like, it was something of fiction at that point. And that's what blew me away about the series, is that everything that this guy was able to imagine about, wireless communication and, something that resembles the internet. And it's a fantastic world, fantastic story. Everything about this is pure magic, pure fun. And although a lot of people didn't like the book 3 and 4, which is basically the continuity of book 1 and 2, that's called Endymion. And I thought it was a masterpiece.
So that is the next series. So once again, tell everybody what you got coming up.
What I got coming up is on Wednesday, I have Blueberry Girl being reviewed.
Nice.
And then next Saturday, it's Magic Square Red Cannon, because I already did this little guy. So Legend Scale Sideswipe is coming up.
Nice.
And you can find that on YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram under Razyel Kayne Reviews, tformers.com, and tomorrow, Monday, check out HNE Toys. Or is it TF Reviewer? No, it's HNE Toys, because we're trying to get on HNE Toys. You'll have the weekly news segment, and It's supposed to be hosted by Danny Dolphin, and but I'm the backup host, kinda, for this week, because we're trying to maybe do something different. We're trying to, get a community of YouTuber together to do something different. So.
And it's all good, all cool. So make sure you check out Raz's page, all those pages. I myself am NinjaBill of NinjaBill Reviews. Once again, you can find me on Facebook as Shinobi Birru. You can find me on tformers.com as Shinobi Birru. And thank you once again, one and all, for joining us here. And check, we only got two books left. Yeah, 2 books left. Where's the 3?
No, it's 2.
Left.
We have the
2
finale and the prequel.
Yep, the new spring. Yep. So so come check us out for that. We'll see you next month for the 14th book in the Wheel of Time series. Later, everyone. Be good to each other. Take us out, Raz.
Like this video, subscribe,